Welcome to the TexasBarBooks Forms tutorial. Once the TexasBarBooks forms have been properly installed, you will see a TBB Forms toolbar in Microsoft Word. You can turn the toolbar on and off by positioning your mouse in the toolbar area and right-clicking. When you right-click, you'll get a list of toolbars, and custom ones, like the TBB Forms one, are located towards the bottom. Currently, the toolbar is on, so clicking it turns it off. Right-clicking and clicking it again will turn the toolbar back on. The TBB Forms toolbar provides several buttons to help you navigate and complete the forms. The first button we'll take a look at is Show Instructions. This form we have open in our example is not currently showing any instructions. To see the instructions, click the Show Instructions button. The instructions show. You can see the instructions are red text. They also have hidden text on them, which we can tell by looking at the dotted lines under the words. The hidden text makes it easy to show and hide the instructions when we do and don't want to see them. To hide the instructions, click the Hide Instruction button. You can show them and hide them anytime you'd like. The instructions in the TexasBarBooks forms give you information about the forms and instruct you on things you need to do to properly complete the forms. You can navigate the instructions using the Next Instruction button. When you click Next Instruction, it will move you to the next instruction in the document. By default, hidden text does not print in Word. So even though we can currently see the instructions when we look at this form on our screen, if we were to print it, they would not print, which we can tell because if we look at the form in Print Preview, we see the instructions no longer show. Let me close out of Print Preview. If you decide you would like to print the instructions with the form, click the Printable Instruction button on the toolbar. Now if I look at the form in Print Preview, I see the instructions are going to print with the form. If I decide I no longer want the instructions to print with the form, I can click Don't Print Instructions. Now when I look at this in Print Preview, the instructions are no longer going to print. At some point after you've finished working with the form, you may decide that you would like to completely remove the instructions from the form. To do this, click the Delete Instructions button. You will be prompted that you are going to delete all instructions. Choose Yes, and the Delete Instructions tool will run through the document and remove all the instructions from it. Once you have saved and closed the form from which you have deleted all the instructions, you can no longer get them back in that document. However, you can always go to the set you downloaded and take another copy of the original form. There are two settings in Word that the TBB Forms toolbar may end up changing on you that you might want to restore. The first is whether or not hidden text shows. By default in Word, when you turn Show Hide on, you will see any hidden text, and when you turn Show Hide off, you will not. When you use the Show Instructions macro, it shows the instructions, but it does not turn Show Hide on because we realize that you may want to see the instructions without being bothered by the clutter of a bunch of characters for hard returns, line breaks, tabs, etc. So when you click the Show Instructions button, it just shows hidden text and does not change your Show Hide setting. Consequently, however, you may end up in a state where hidden text continues to show whether Show Hide is on or not. The other setting that can get altered is the option to print hidden text, which by default is not on. When you tell Word to print hidden text, it will continue to print it for all documents until you turn that setting off. Now you can use the Hide Instructions and the Don't Print Instructions macros to reset these settings. However, we've also done a Restore Settings button for you that you can click that will restore hidden text to not print and hidden text to not show. Once you've clicked that, your settings will be back to normal, and when you turn Show Hide on and off, the hidden text will hide and display with it, and when you go to print, by default it will no longer print hidden text. You will see several sets of bracketed text throughout the TexasBarBooks forms. This text is fill-ins, and you can use the next fill-in button to navigate through the sets of bracketed text and complete them. There are a few types of fill-ins that we will take a look at. The first one is just a replacement fill-in. If I put my cursor here and click the next fill-in button, it navigates to the next set of bracketed text. In this case, it selected the text, which tells me I just need to type over it. This is asking name of petitioner, so I would type it in, and I can now say next fill-in again to move on to the next one. Keep clicking next fill-in to keep moving from fill-in to fill-in and typing the appropriate text. Some of the fill-ins are designed for you to decide whether you want to keep or discard the text. When we move to this next fill-in, you can see the text from it is selected and you are told include if applicable. If you want to keep it, you can choose keep text. If you don't want the text, choose discard text and it will be deleted from the form. If you choose skip, this fill-in will be left exactly as it is and you will move forward in the document. Later you can come back to the fill-in to complete it. If you choose cancel, the dialog box will be closed and nothing will happen. I will choose keep text, and you can see that the text without the brackets is kept. In this example, I'm going to choose discard text. The text is discarded. Some of the bracketed fill-ins include subbrackets. For example, here you can see that this is going to tell us to include the text if it's applicable, and if so, we would fill in the address, city, state, and zip code. When the next fill-in comes to a prompt like this, it offers us all the text, and we can decide if we want to keep it. If we don't make any changes in the dialog box, it will then select the subbracket for us, and we can just start typing to replace it. Some of the fill-ins provide options for you to choose from. These fill-ins include slashes. When the next fill-in tool comes to one of them, it provides the different options in a Select Options dialog box. You can select an option by single-clicking it. Typically, you are only selecting one option, but on some occasions you may want to choose more than one. To choose more than one, just click both of them, or however many you want. To deselect them, if you select one accidentally, just click it again. Clicking selects and deselects. In this case, I will choose this one and say OK, and the prompt is replaced with the text I selected. Some of the sets of bracketed text are exceptionally complex. In this example, we can see that we have sub-brackets and slashes within the brackets. When the next fill-in tool comes to this, it offers us the entire set of text and we can decide what we want to do with it. For example, here, if I want to put the geographic area and not keep without regard to geographic location, I could just delete all of that text and type my geographic area. Choose keep text, and the prompt is replaced with what I typed. I'm going to undo that. To point out another option you have is that you could just look at this and say, let me cancel out of here and make the change directly in the document. Many of the TexasBarBook forms require a caption. Those ones will have a paste caption here placeholder in the form. If you can see the placeholder, you can simply click it to select it and type over it. There may be times when you don't see the paste caption here placeholder. Perhaps it's further down the document, or perhaps you have scrolled down the document and it's not visible. You can use the caption tool to locate the caption. When you click it, it selects a caption and then you can type over it. Not all forms require a caption. If you use the caption tool in a form that does not require a caption, you will receive a prompt notifying you that there is no caption in the form. Many times in the Texas Barbook forms, there will be text that is followed by a colon where you will need to type information. Not every time that there is a colon will you need to type information, but it's a good idea to browse through the documents by colon to locate them just to make sure. A fast, easy way to do it is to use the Words Find feature. You can choose Edit Find or press Ctrl F on the keyboard and the Find dialog box comes up. If I type a colon, I'm now finding my colon and I can choose Find Next. Once it goes to the colon, I could keep clicking Find Next to find the ones I need to fill in, but if I'd like to get rid of the Find and Replace dialog box to free up some room, I can just close that. Whenever you do a find, Word switches your browse to look by what you searched for. So in this case it was a colon. So now I can use the double up and double down arrows at the bottom of my vertical scroll bar to go from colon to colon and type things in. And I can also press Control Page Down on the keyboard, which is the same as clicking the double down arrows to move along. Control Page Down, and I can type. The tools on the TBB Forms toolbar are designed specifically for use within the TexasBarBooks forms. If you try using them in a document that is not one of these forms, you will receive a prompt informing you that the tool is not available in that document.